Hi everybody. Recently a member expressed some concern over the use of Ecclesia Trustees, which is a trading style or trading as MLITR Research, a Wyoming LLC, a limited liability company, as the corporate trustee or operating as a trustee for the 98 Series Grantor Trusts that are filing the corrective tax, tax filings, the 1099 OID, where the trusts are operating as the holder in due course of the underlying securities and the taxes which are due back to those 98 Series Grantor Trusts. So this is the structure of when the tax filings are submitted to the IRS, there has to be a trustee installed into the 98 Series Grantor Trust to qualify for the 1099 OID filing, and then in addition to that you've got the ERO, which is the electronic reporting officer, a tax professional that is going to file the 1099 OID, having completed the research on the fact that the securities are connected to that grantor trust. That's the signature credit via the deposits that were made many years before, on bank payments or mortgages or loans. So all of that work has been done, the research has been conducted. Now the 98 Series Grantor Trust is going to file a 1099 OID, but it has to nominate with the IRS a trustee, and it is nominating the MLITR Research as its trustee. So each 98 Series Grantor Trust is nominating a trustee to comply with the IRS tax filings of 1099 OID. And a member who'd been researching into that expressed some concern over whether the trusts that are going to receive the recoupments, this is the ACH and Fedwire IRS distribution of the recoupments into the trust structures that have filed the 1099 OIDs. There is a portfolio of these. As you know, there's over 3,000 of these in our portfolio, and that number will grow substantially. And in order to receive the funds from the ACH and Fedwire IRS, basically bank transfers, if you like, electronic bank transfer, ACH or Fedwire, the trusts themselves have to have a banking facility. So we are setting up for the benefit of members, a master and sub-account structure which will receive the ACH and Fedwire, and then from the tax filing Grantor Trust, that's the 1099 OID tax filing Grantor Trust, the member will have an asset fortress Grantor Trust, which will then receive 100% of the recoupments, the ACH and Fedwire amount that the tax filing Grantor Trust has received, and then the member will receive their share of that, because a proportion of that, whatever has been agreed, will be distributed to the OSN Foundation, which is to finance the Freedom Plan and the sovereign nation of OSN, the Republic of Old Souls Foundation, which is the OSN Foundation in Panama, to finance the Freedom Plan, as I mentioned. And then, of course, the whatever percentage is being distributed from the 98 Series Grantor Trust, which is the Asset Fortress Trust, will be recouped in the next 1099 OID filing. So the members don't actually see any deduction from their recoupments because they will be recouping the donation that they're making to the Panama Foundation to finance the sovereign nation and the Freedom Plan. But there was a concern expressed by a member in relation to this, the MSB trap, where there's been some focus from 2019. New legislation came into Wyoming, which could have meant that the structure that has been established, the MLITR Research structure, may have been non-compliant for the banking side, for the bank accounts, the master and sub-account structure. But I had already done a lot of research on this, and MLITR Research is operating as an attorney, under an attorney in fact mandate, and it is a LLC. So in this document here, it talks about this bit of code here, which is WS 1729-211, which enables a LLC, a limited liability company, to operate with a master and sub-account structure, exactly what we need it to do under an attorney-in-fact agency model. So it's relying on the law of agency. It can operate as required for each of the 98 Series Grantor Trusts in a private capacity, and the bank account providers, the major US banks that provide the master and sub-account banking infrastructure know that this arrangement and this structure is completely compliant in Wyoming under Wyoming statutory law, and there's no problem. But it was a very good question that was raised in relation to this concern. A member had done some research. They'd put in various things into an AI, I believe, had done some research, and it had come up with the MSB trap, and whether that was a problem. And as you know, I like to get technical questions because it shows that our members and anybody else connected to the structuring that we're doing and the technical side. I like to get technical questions. I wrote this report. I double checked the research that I'd already done. I checked it all out. This report covers it. There is a much deeper report which the MLITR Research has, but there's no need for me to publish that very deep technical report because this report has sufficient detail in it. Anyway, thanks for watching. The good news is there's no concern about you receiving your recoupments where MLITR Research is operating under an attorney in fact, under the law of agency as a trustee for your grantor trust that is going to receive the IRS ACH or FedWire, and then it's going to transfer the funds from that bank account that's been established for that grantor trust. That's the tax filing grantor trust. There's no concern. You will then receive your 100% of your recoupments in your asset fortress protocol trust, which is your private treasury. You make your donation to the OSN Foundation in Panama. It'll all be done, it'll all be administered for you with your permission, and then you recoup back the donation. So that's how it's going to work. Thanks for watching.